because the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Alrighty guys, Protovoid here. Today we're going to be doing a different type of Tooltip Tuesday and going over it a different way. So I want to ask that you leave a comment, just letting me know if you like this style, or if you like the original style of just going straight through, working through it, no information beforehand. Alright, so we're going to get started now. Today's Tooltip Tuesday is going to be on the Harvester. The Harvester is an OSINT tool, mainly found on Kali Linux and other like distributions. So today we're just going to go over an introduction of it, installation, APIs, the use, and then for the closing we're actually going to be seeing how it's used. So the introduction, the Harvester. As you can see, it's the word "the" is lowercase and the H in Harvester is capitalized. When you use it from the CLI, the command line interface, that's the way that it's going to be typed in. It's a Python-based tool for gathering a bunch of different information. Allows for multiple searches just from one single command. It also utilizes API keys to expand on those searches. Installation is pretty simple. It's pre-installed on multiple penetration testing systems like Kali, Parrot, and some of the other ones. I believe CSI Linux has it, and if you don't have it, you can go to the GitHub page and follow the instructions from there. Now, talked about API keys and APIs. Well, what are they? An API key is essentially a password that allows your machine to connect, and the program that it's using to connect to another application and utilize that functionality. I say the API key is like a password because it's specific to your machine or you. API keys usually aren't shared, and each person will get one. Most are free. If it's a free one, they'll most likely have a daily or monthly limit for use, and from there it'll go towards a paid or subscription-based process for using it. On the screen here, you'll see a bunch of different names of either companies or tools. These are all the required API keys for the Harvester. I'm not going to go over how to use them all or get them all. Just go to Google, go to the website if it's a website like GitHub or Shodan or Zoomai, things like that. And usually you can search for the API key or how to get one. Hunter, which is it's hunter.io. There's a free plan, and then there's also paid plans. The free plan, I believe you only get 10 per month. Pentest Tools isn't free. Project Discovery is invite only. Rocket Reach isn't free, and Spicy, I think it's Spicy, isn't free either. The rest of them at least have some sort of free version or trial version. So the use, again, it's via the command line, so this is most likely what you'll see on the screen when you run the command theHarvester. It's mainly used for business and website OSINT. However, it's still a good tool to learn, even if you're not using it as a business portion, because you never know what information you may get from it. If this is where you end, you can find my stuff on Instagram as well as YouTube. Then the website that I have is linked there below. So right now we're going to switch over to my Kali Linux machine and go on and use the Harvester. Alright, so now we're back into my Kali machine. There was a little bit of a delay in between the end of the PowerPoint to now. which you obviously didn't see because this was all paused. So to break down what happened is I was trying to use a specific function of the harvester, which is the screenshot function. My Kali system is up to date, and for some reason the screenshot service was not installed. So what I did was I removed the harvester from my system and then installed it from the source code manually. That was an easy process. All I had to do was go to the harvester GitHub page, and then I installed it from the source here. The difference in installing it from source and just running it from the Kali self-install is how you actually run the program. So normally you'd just be able to type in the harvester -h, that would bring up the help screen, and any further commands would just be the harvester and then whatever the rest of the command is. With it now, you'll have to, if you were to install it from source, you'd have to do Python 3, the harvester py, and then the rest of it. You're running it from Python 3, and you're running the actual .py file. This -h is the help designator. Alright, so if I throw this back on here, pretty simple. I have it installed into my opt folder. And you'll see from here everything that you would get when it goes through the self-installer, the install from source. Now, if you were to use this and you have the API keys, since this is on a virtual machine and just one that I kind of use for testing, I don't have all of the API keys, and I believe a couple of mine had gotten deleted when some things changed. But let's say you were to get some of the API keys. You're going to edit the API key by using the nano command or v command, whichever you prefer. Pretty simply, you have zoom-i, and then you'd enter in the key here, and then you'd save it on exit. So we're going to use Kali Linux, the Kali Linux website, as the test for one of these. So if you've already started the command and you've already typed in the command before, it'll most likely give you a autofill. So now we're getting into actually using it. So this is the command that I have to run to get it to start. So by doing the -h, it gives me the help command. So the usage for this is going to be the harvester.py. We have to run it with Python 3 in front of that. -h is the help command, which is what you see here. -d is what you will use when you're entering the domain. The limit is the amount of search results. The default's 500. This is important when you're using Hunter on a free account because you'll have to limit that to 10. You're going to use the start function to start with a certain result number. G is you're going to end up using Google Dorks. P for proxies, S for Shodan. And then you have the screenshot command, which is helpful, and we'll actually use that. V is going to be the virtual host. Then you have the DNS servers, a takeover, a bunch of other fun things. Now you can use the -f command here to save the output file, or save the output as a file. And then one of the more important ones is B, which is going to be the source. Here are all the sources available in terms of search. Now you can do multiple, you can do one, or you can do them all. Right now we're just going to use one, and then go through two different types of searches. So we'll just enter in this. So it's going to be Python 3, the harvester, -d is that domain, so it's going to be kali.org. You don't have to enter in that whole URL. Now if you want a specific portion, so if it were to have anything after this .org, so if it were to be a sub page, you would have to add the slash and the rest of that. The L, again, is that limit for the search results. The B is going to be the source, so we're just going to use Bing for this one. And then we're going to have the screenshot saved to pictures. And so what it's going to do is it's going to go through, scrape some data, and then take screenshots of any web pages that it can get to. So once this is all typed in, we're going to click enter, and it's going to run. So I found 5 hosts. It's going to see which ones the host can reach, and it's going to take screenshots. All of that was ran relatively quickly. So if we go into my home folder here, and we go over to pictures, you'll see it took 3 different pictures. So the first one is going to be from the archive.kali.org. So you can see it has a few different indexes that you might be able to get to. It has the Kali forum, and then the actual Kali tools search. Now that was just from the Bing source. So if we go and change to Yahoo as the source, actually we'll do Twitter as the source, and we'll see what that comes up with. Now, depending on what you have searching, the amount of responses you're trying to get, and everything else that you might be adding to it, because again, you can add a bunch of different variables or arguments to the command. It could take a good bit of time. I do want to scroll up a tiny bit. So this kind of highlights, no pun intended there, the point of the harvester. It's to gather the open source intelligence on a company or domain. A lot of times when you Google the harvester or Google a tool, a lot of the top responses or the suggested searches will be is blank legal. Open source information is open source information. If you're not having to cross a legal boundary to get the information, it's publicly available, it's out there. We're just using a tool to gather that already public information. For some reason this is going to take a hot minute, so I was in a loop. Really don't want to go through that, but we're going to use Google on this next one. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to change this to Google. And we're going to change this to, I believe it's tesla.com. Yeah. So we're going to run this. And the reason I use Tesla, hoping that hopefully this doesn't crash on me, Oh, that's no fun. So sometimes this will happen. Google's pretty good about not allowing things through. See what happens here. Let's see if this gives us another loop. Alright, so we reached an error that I haven't ran into for a little bit, and that's probably because I haven't used a tool like this in a while. So long story short with this is when you do multiple requests like that, it obviously has to go through the internet, and you're essentially doing multiple queries in rapid succession. And so what will happen is the tool may be blocked from being used for a short period of time. Now, you're still able to use Google and use the internet and things like that, but this tool may be blocked for 30 minutes or so. So with that, changing the limit will help fix that, making it a smaller limit. I believe when I was using it, and I didn't have any problems, I think I had it at 10 to 20 was the max that I had done at a time. I usually didn't do over 100 for this reason. It's just hoping to get a little bit more information to show the actual tool. We're going to try one more, and it's going to be the same thing, except we're going to keep it at 10. But for the source, I'm going to change it to all. And what that's going to do is it's going to use all of the sources, and this will help show you what happens if you don't have an API key properly put in or put in at all. So it'll tell you which API keys you're missing, and then it'll go through and search through everything. One workaround for the Google issue can be using proxy chains. What you'll see here is on those connections refused, different portions may refuse a connection using the definition in the word. It'll give you an error when you try and go to that web page, not allowing you to go to it. So if we switch over and go into my pictures, I'll see nothing came up. There we go, now we got a few. And so we'll kill the command, that way I don't Alright, so if we open up some of these screenshots here, if it wants to open. That command is killing this. And I'm just being impatient. We're just gonna end it. Alright, so wait for my computer to chill out. I don't know if you can hear it, but the fan is just working overtime right now. So, right now we have 46 screenshots in total. Alright, after restarting the VM, we can see that there's a bunch of images taken from the different websites. So we have a website that, or a URL that was active at some point, now it's not. We have a different gateway. And then we have a login page. There's also some access denied and 404 type redirects that it took images of as well. The thing is, all of this is facing the internet, not protected. It's just not given. So proper Google search may find some of this information. However, it's not going to give you this much detail. So that's the Harvester. Again, it's not for necessarily people searching. That's something that we will go over probably in the next week or so. This is more for that business side. Again, it's just another cool tool to understand and know how to use. Let's say you have a person you're trying to find, or your person you're investigating, and through your investigation you find that, oh wow, they have a, some type of domain. From that, you can use this tool and hopefully advance the investigation a little further. So again, I'm going to ask, just kind of like in the beginning of this video, that you comment down either in the YouTube description, the Instagram description, or both, how you liked the style of video this time. If you liked the PowerPoint presentation in the beginning, to kind of give you that background, and then the use of the program, giving this more of an educational feel, or if you just want me to jump straight into using it and you really don't care about that background. That just gives me a little bit more information and a little bit better understanding of what you're looking for when you watch these videos. So if you made it this far, thank you. Please share this with all your friends, share it on your page. If you share it, tag me, and then like I said, leave a comment down and just let me know what you thought. Thanks and have a great day.
Because the road to hell is paved with good intentions.